So I pissed off the cosplatriots yet again. Because, how dare someone who carries every day and has taken multiple firearms courses, including becoming a certified instructor, have a difference of opinion than them? But let's get into it. You see, not too long ago, in a time before firearms instructors would plaster Punisher skulls and Spartan shields over their poorly Xerox flyers, they would teach more than just how to look like an extra from an episode of Over There. See, learning to make firearms an everyday part of your life is a lot more complicated than learning to point, squeeze, and what gear is going to make you look the best tactical geardo out there. And firearms instructors used to teach that. They used to teach proper mindset, mentality, who should or should not own a gun and carry. They used to teach escalation of force, de-escalation scenarios. One of the things that's taught in a good firearm instruction class is that children should not have access to guns unsupervised. Firearms instructors used to teach that your child should not be walking down the street at night carrying a gun, that they should have adult supervision or engaging in an age-appropriate firearm activity, such as target shooting or hunting. How old was Kyle again when that happened? Good instruction classes also talk about blending. And that's methods of carrying a firearm that does not purposely draw undue and unwanted attention to yourself. It's one of the reasons why we teach that a long gun is not a practical everyday self-defense weapon. Seeing someone walking down the street carrying a long gun is provoking in and of itself. And that's a stance that the Republican Party and the NRA both agree with. Or at least they did when it was black people walking around carrying those guns. But they've actually agreed with that stance much more recent than that, back in 2014, when they released this statement about carrying long guns as an everyday form of self-defense, equating it to political show. At least that was until they faced so much backlash from the people who believe that Punisher is a good and wholesome role model that they took that statement down. But one of the biggest things we teach is that you should not have the mindset that you're going to carry a gun to be a hero or a vigilante. But for all the people going, Celt, Rittenhouse wasn't trying to be a vigilante. He was there to protect businesses. My question to you is, under whose authority? Who asked him to protect businesses? Because he wasn't there as an armed security guard in the state of Wisconsin. You have to take a test and be 21. And law enforcement in the area didn't want them there. And they agree that people like Rittenhouse being there is just going to create confrontation. And the family that owns the spot that he was guarding didn't ask him to be there either. So Rittenhouse, a private citizen, took it upon himself to police the streets. If only we had a word for that. Oh look, we do. Vigilantes don't get to claim self-defense.